The representative of Pakistan has asked for the floor to make a further statement. I give them the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. My delegation has been compelled to take the floor to respond to the statement made by the delegation of India. No amount of obfuscation can change the legal, political, and historical reality. Jammu and Kashmir is not and has never been a so-called integral part of India. It is a disputed territory whose final disposition is to be decided by the people of Jammu and Kashmir through a UN-supervised plebiscite, as demanded by numerous resolutions of the Security Council. This disputed status of Jammu and Kashmir is acknowledged by the United Nations and the international community. Every official UN map depicts Jammu and Kashmir as disputed territory. India is under a legally binding obligation under Article 25 of the UN Charter to implement the resolutions of the Security Council and enable the people of Jammu and Kashmir to exercise their right to self-determination. India holds Kashmir by brute force with over 900,000 and troops and paramilitary troops in the occupied territory. India has killed over 100,000 innocent Kashmiris since 1989. It has imposed the densest occupation in history, with one Indian soldier for every 8 Kashmiri men, women and child. India's gross violation of human rights in the occupied Kashmir have been recorded in 2 reports of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and several reports of the Human Rights Council special mechanisms. Madam President, we also heard a reference regarding terrorism. India raises the bogey of terrorism to divert attention from its violation of international law in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. It is most ironic that India, which is committing the worst form of state terrorism in occupied Jammu and Kashmir, is portraying itself as the victim. It is a familiar ploy of all occupiers and colonizers to paint legitimate struggle for freedom and liberation as terrorism. And instead of maligning others for terrorism, India should reflect on its own campaign of orchestrating targeted assassinations, subversions, and terrorism in foreign countries. It is India which supports and finances terrorism against Pakistan through Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, TTP, Balochistan Liberation Army, BLA, and the Majeed Brigade. Madam President, in conclusion, I would advise the delegation of India to consult the UN map and UN Security Council resolutions on Jammu and Kashmir before making baseless statements in the same body. I thank you, Madam President.